Welcome back to the channel. I am honestly coming off one of the worst days I've had in a long time, and I think the easiest way is just get right back to business. I've been trying to find a way to say it, and in the end, it doesn't come out right because maybe I'm just not willing to exploit my downs that much. So I really wish I had some coping mechanisms. I should, draw more. I mean, I could pull out gosh, it'd be appropriate. If you want to stay to the end, I'll show you. I'll show you a couple of my drawing class finals if you're interested, but it'll be all the way at the end. Now, I do have the full song queued up, so we're not just watching the short. I had to field this comment yesterday. It's funny, the algorithm shows you how many people leave in the first 30 seconds. Cool, that's fine. That's fine. I obviously don't come out of the gate saying everything everyone wants to hear. Kind of grateful. But it's that same individual who loves to hop right in the comments. Now, if you like to comment as you go along, I love that. But I had to field this one, and I'm like, hey, thank you for the lecture. Did you see the second song in there, or did you just bother to watch for 10 seconds then tell me how I was wrong? I'm just saying. That kind of shit builds up. And then, other shit, and you have a bad day. Pigeons. Who would have thought that was all going to be super interesting?
I like drawing pigeons. People tend to feed them off a bit of me. The way it's rare to see them individually considered. There's always like a million eating cigarettes and ketchup. I take a lot of pictures. I've been cropping out the extras. I've been studying the independent measurements and metrics. The postures and the body types, the patterns on the feathers. Like
I don't think I noticed that the first time. They're cropping out the extras. That's just everybody else who's not a pigeon, right? Because it's a pigeon-centric. I think pigeons could probably increase their lifespan if they stopped eating cigarettes and ketchup. But yeah, I know what I mean. I, firm supporter of nicotine, can't complain there. But there is a lot of sugar in that ketchup. That's really bad for them.
Reds and ketchup. I take a lot of pictures. I've been cropping out the extras. I've been studying the independent measurements and metrics. The postures and the body types, the patterns on the feathers, like some ritualistic tattoo dating back to their ancestors, while the bib and neck come dipped in precious amethyst and emerald.
So I got lost there because I didn't understand the bib. So I did have to look up the lyrics at this point the first time through. And then I'm like, oh yeah, no, that shiny shit, they're so... And then I went off, and then I patted myself on the back because it was the next bar. So I'm just saying, I don't think it was nothing spectacular, but I'm like, oh, I didn't know what word that was. I look it up, so then I understood, and I'm like, oh, bib, and because I went through recovery for years, feeding pigeons and sitting alone in the park instead of getting stoned. One of the tenets of recovery.
It's a pity about the stigmas, how the cooties overshadow any beauty that enrich us. A white dove symbolizes peace and pacifism. A white dove is a pigeon, you motherfuckers is bigots, yo. 3 toes forward, 1 toe ain't. 1 a.m. sketching muscles on a plump little frame. Plus I love your pretty orange eyes and dumb little brain. I'll add a nimbus to atone for how we sullied the name, yeah. Bone wallet, coffee keys later. I'm headed for the beyond, I'ma need a ceasefire. Lighter keys, coffee wallet, phone. The whole street is lava, the beyond is not a goat. Not a goat. I Seen this one Da Vinci exhibit in which they reconstructed dozens of machines he invented, from diagrams in his codex open and beautifully scanned. Marvels of engineering broke up by Vitruvian man, margin exploding with the future like it grew from his hand. Plus every annotation backwards, homie, who is this man? I bet his brain projected images of orbiting equations that would later become warships or attempts at aviation, or some irrigation system steering water different places he could picture and commit to paper from a grip of angles. Honestly, it's pretty overwhelming. Contraption after contraption that had us holy helling. Later in the afterglow, grab a tablet, have a go. I might invent some vehicle, a diving suit, or catapulter. Fast forward to the morning, I had caught 1,000 tags and drew a half a pigeon poorly. Oh well.
Then that line. So there we go. That line I didn't. What is that line? I mean, I understood the Da Vinci stuff. Probably, I'm thinking. Wait, the pigeonometry. We start with pigeons, get to art and use of artists use a lot of math. Isn't that the Vitruvian man? Isn't that the little naked dude with like 4 arms and all the lines? No. It was an intro to art class and an intro to drawing. So right, I'm not even first year art student. I was, design major. It was just a small portion. Turns out it was more about the psychology and convincing people to do things against their own better judgment through pretty pictures. Shh, don't tell anybody. They really wanted to seem like it's about the creative process. It was about, that's why I have a portfolio I could show you at the end, because it was about creating a portfolio so you could be shopped around the local, to the local exploiters. Yeah, let's just go with that. Okay, hold on. I gotta fuck it. I gotta pause. That's Mappy. Okay. Oh, okay. Might invent some vehicle or a diving suit or catapult. Fast forward to the morning. That's where I was. I'd caught 1,000 tags. There's what I guess I don't know what that means. And then back to get back to the beginning with drawing pigeons poorly, but I've been told a couple times, doesn't he draw a lot of the pictures? Like, isn't it quite possible to believe he drew all these? And then that being the case, it's a solid. I mean, right? Oh, shit, sure. It says right there. I would say there's one of those lines. There's 2% of his Aesop stuff that I would say I don't agree with, or I would love to discuss the nuances. His ability to wield art so creatively well and proficiently, and then take shots at it, really, I respect that. I'm not saying that's how you should treat your abilities, but at the same time, I think maybe not putting anything up on the pedestal and making it more than it is a good idea too. So, wow, I like that. I'm just kind of really, we're back to pigeons. I'm going with that. Yeah, because I don't want to get lost in the ranting too much. I did that yesterday. It didn't work out. I like to beat his
Phone wallet, coffee keys, lighter. I'm headed for the beyond. I'ma need a ceasefire. Lighter, keys, coffee, wallet, bone. The whole street is lava, the beyond is not a go. And was feeling like it could be the root of future submissions. It'd be cool to draw 1,000 and lay out a book of sketches. He said, how many you got? I said like 6 or 7.
What?
He said 1,000 is a lot. I said that's why it's gotta be an actual 1,000 on the dot. I hit him with that 1,000 to make up for what they not. Once you mix that many bodies, it becomes about the flock. He told me if you do it, it's a cruise to manufacture. I took it as a challenge, but regretted it soon after. See, the point was always celebrate the individual vessel. That I pitched a package deal at all is pretty disrespectful. Plus 1,000 is a lot. Sometimes I get excited before really sizing up the job. I think I drew like one more on a red eye and a queen's. I ain't even make a dozen. I've been eyeing other things.
So I didn't catch that the first time, and I don't actually think it's reconnected, but I mean, that comes off as, oh, hey, wow. Okay, that took a lot longer than I wanted. I've been away for like a bit looking for some stuff. Turns out the cat has been tearing up a lot of stuff, so I don't actually know where my diploma certificate completion, whatever. I did graduate. And I was kind of looking at these ends, and I really, it does. So I don't know if it means this or not. But I think that, talking about and just enjoying being creative, and I reflect back, and here's the deal. So thank you if you enjoyed Aesop Pigeonometry. I think the good side, if you liked it, I'd just go listen to it, right? Because I am definitely not on track yet. I just got real. Here, it's like this. The dilemma of knowing I created this, but I couldn't do what they wanted or exploit it for anything. So I'm here. First and foremost, I went with this small portfolio. No, I tore it apart. So most of it's right here. Oh, there's the backup page for that. That's pretty good. I couldn't find one of my finals from the art class. But let's see here. So I was mentioned. I did a live work while I was a student, so I did do drawings for a State of Minnesota book. I think the pictures I'm looking for are with the, I won a logo prize. Now, here, so stuff like I was doing, most of the work was stuff like this was a combination of bus stop sign and digital. It's a house, right? It's a Victorian, I mean, with that's not that important. I'm not trying to show off my art because I wouldn't exploit it, right? There's a final. It was like wow, very dark and ugly. But I was using shading, and shading wasn't part of the program. I don't think it's good. I have a couple others, like a hand portrait, some other shit. Problem is they wanted, how many kids started? Like 30, right? I think like 15 or 20, 15 make it through. They wanted 15 portfolios that looked exactly the same except for the signatures on the art. What they wanted was representations of them as teachers and their ability to program you to do what exactly the corporate handlers were expecting. Now, I was on parole. I was in the most interesting of relationships for years, but the teacher was so positive that what mattered was our politics, and it was way back in the day. So I'm thinking 2001, 2002 is when I finished. So I've been out of school for years. But I kind of look at this as the, well, I don't know. I'm going to wrap it up here. But I do see that end. Especially that line. I told my homie I drew some pigeons and was feeling like it could be the root of future submissions. Like, okay, I think that means, hey, man, that ain't too bad. Now, like this one thing, or the Van Gogh. And Van Gogh turned out very well from a distance. I mean, it looks good. It's hard to tell. It's a bunch of colored pieces of paper waxed to a board, but it is. The house, now that is, like I said, that was 2000. And that was technically animated, so the car rolled up to the house, and then close-ups, details of all the little parts, like a gingerbread deal where, now green and lime green. It's almost like I knew then. what I know now. Oh, Rollen Green over here, Reactions, Rants, and Rabbit Holes, was not cut out for any assembly line. I hate to admit it, to my own detriment, but it's true. I'm not willing to even exploit the education I got because, well, they let me know by the end what part mattered, and it certainly wasn't the value of creation and expression. And I can't say I'm right, and I don't know if I'm wrong, and I can say the same thing to everything else I hear. But I know I like hearing it all. And when I realized it was 15 versions of the same thing, just like yesterday, yesterday I didn't relapse. But I will honestly tell you, that education, I didn't go to my graduation. I didn't go receive my diploma. I made them mail it to me. I was the highest GPA holder in the class. I relapsed hard. I just quit drawing. I quit making art entirely because of the disillusioned state they left me in. So, to be fair, I don't know if that relates at all because I'm not a deep enough supporter of Aesop's art quite yet. I actually liked this page. I believe that form of sketching is super powerful. I would really like to go back to that. Well, if you tie it into the middle part, it turns out, like this painting here, it turned out pretty well. That's a reproduction. I painted this. That turned out pretty well. I did learn way before I went to school that mathematics, arts, grids, and a little bit of attention to detail, you could recreate other people's stuff if you so wanted. Now, did I start a side gig in prison to get paid for knocking off art? Hell no. Did I spend part of my almost 5 years painting? Yeah. It was better than gambling and fighting. Right? So, no time to sit in the yard and draw pigeons, but comic book covers, man, I had all the time in the world. So, I thought I was going to be an artist. And like I said, what I was really supposed to become was a corporate shill, creating illusions for people to pour revenue into. Whew. I can't do that. I'm really super bad at that. Just like all these reactions, I think I solicit very little. So we're going to keep it that way because I guess the integrity of it all matters more than the final outcome. I'm enjoying the path more than I'm enjoying the payoff. But days like yesterday, I mourn that reality sometimes.